we might have reached rock bottom there. I need to talk about it. First and foremost, I want to congratulate Grimsby. If anyone happens to be a Grimsby fan watching this video, what an incredible result. What an amazing moment for that club. And in their history, I imagine that's one of the biggest results ever. To turn the attention to what the narrative is going to be and about Man United, I really don't see where we can go from here. It's so... Oh my God. That is maybe the worst result I can ever remember as a Man United fan. I've been supporting Man United my whole life. I cannot remember a worse result than that. I guess there are shades of the MK Dons game from like 10 years ago under Van Gaal where we lost 4-0. Pretty much everyone who played that match got sold within like a week. We were also in the first knockout game of the Carabao Cup or whatever it was called that season, because we also hadn't qualified for Europe the season before, and we got battered by MK Dons in the first round. This is obviously just a perfect mirror of that. We're back to that point. It was kind of like, I remember when that game happened, I was like, we're never going to reach that point again, right? And I thought we've hit lower lows than that. We've obviously had higher points than that as well, but this is worse than that. He actually fielded a strong side today, Amorim, and Sesko's on his debut, a chance to impress. I get the conditions weren't great, but he had a chance. There's going to have to be lots of sales. Onana can never wear a Man United shirt again after that game. But then there's so many players that are new signings that were important features in that game. There are so many players that are key parts of this team that played in that game. We're not just going to sell the team that played that game like we did when we lost to MK Dons under the same fashion 10 years ago. That is not... We are stuck with that team this season. And I remember when that game happened, I was like really sad to see the likes of Chicharito and Welbeck and Kagawa all leave the club. We're not going to do that this time. And Mbeumo is going to stay for the season, obviously. Cunha is obviously going to stay for the season. We're not getting rid of De Ligt. We're not getting rid of Maguire. Mainoo's obviously rumoured to go. I don't want Mainoo to leave. Fernandes also has links to go. I don't think he's going to go. Sesko, we've just signed him. These are the players that were making up that team. Amad, again, I rate Amad. I'm so confused by that result. I'm shocked. I'm perplexed. I don't see... Honestly, and I hate to say it, because we're only 3 games into the season, but I don't see how Amorim can stay in the job after that. Like, even if we won that penalty shootout, and I don't even think we deserve to take the game to penalties. I thought that offside to make it 3-0 to Grimsby was really harsh. And then we kind of nicked a couple goals, one from a corner, you know? Like, is that what we are? My point is that, like, how can Amorim see through this game? We could barely create a chance to score against a League 2 side, a team that's ranked like 60 places below us in the footballing pyramid, and we could barely create a chance against them in like 70 minutes. It took 70 minutes to score a goal against them. I mean, I feel like I said it in my Premier League predictions video. The likes of Mbeumo and Cunha, are they going to be able to replicate the form they had at Brentford and Wolves at Man United? It's going to be harder than they think. They overperformed their XG last season, and tonight we've seen them both miss penalties against the League 2 side. Like, how are we going to even compete against... I mean, don't even get me started on the Arsenals and Liverpools and Man Cities that we want to be competing with. How are we going to compete against Burnley? We've got Burnley this weekend. Are Man United fans right now, are we even confident we're going to beat Burnley this weekend? Because I'm not. Initially, going into that Fulham game, after the Arsenal result in the first game of the season, obviously we lost, I thought we played well. I was quite confident going into the Fulham game. I feel like a lot of Man United fans. Confidence dropped after that Fulham game. Obviously, like all Man United fans watching those games, you saw the performance level was just nowhere near it. And then I thought, okay, well, we'll go into that Grimsby game, we'll get a good result, we'll get our heads up, and then we'll go into that Burnley game, should beat Burnley, and then we're going in with confidence against Man City and Chelsea after the international break. Now it's like, are we even going to beat Burnley? I'm not sure. Burnley have shown more than us in the Carabao Cup and this season. They've already got more wins than us this season. Like, Burnley are predicted by almost everyone to finish bottom this season. Burnley at home should be on paper the easiest game of the season. We are going into it, game 3 of the Premier League season. I'm not confident we can win it. I don't expect Amorim's going to be sacked before that game. And the system went out the window today, by the way. Did you notice that? Like, this whole thing about, the system's so important. We got to pay. By about the 60th minute of the game, we had 4 at the back. By the end of the game, he'd put Xerxes on for Amad. And, like, we weren't even really playing with wing-backs. Attackers were on the pitch. it was a mess. I'm not going to try to overreact to this one game and one performance as if it's the end of the world, but it's hard not to. You know how the EFL Cup exists, where League 1 and League 2 sides compete, and then also teams from the Premier League submit their under-21 side to compete. Man United's under-21s are seen as a level with Grimsby. Like, that's not to be disrespectful to Grimsby. I'm just saying that is the level that Grimsby are seen to be. Could Man United's first team even beat their under-21s right now? That's a genuine question I'm wondering. We weren't just beaten. It wasn't like, oh, we didn't show up and we had a bad day and it was a weird game on a bad pitch. It was on a bad pitch, but we were outplayed today. There's no excuse for that performance. I mean, as I said, I don't expect Amorim to be sacked tonight. But he could be. Like, I don't expect the board to do it, but he really could get sacked off that performance, and he hasn't shown any reason why to keep him. We've had him for 29 Premier League games now, and we've got 28 points. That's just unacceptable to have a less than 1 point per game win ratio as Man United manager. Like, I can't even wrap my head around how bad this is. I thought, like, putting United in 9th, I was kind of being like a bit harsh on us when I did my Premier League predictions. I was kind of like, you know, I don't want to let bias get in the way here. I'm going to put us kind of where a bit lower than I was hoping we'd finish. I don't see us finishing 9th now, and that's not acceptable. Amorim, no way can he survive the season if we're only finishing just about in the top half. But there's a real question of, could we get relegated? Is it too soon to be asking that question? Because I assume if we're even in the conversation to get relegated, we will get rid of Amorim and bring in someone else who'll get us results. But like, looking at that right now, and we've got the players to stay up, don't get me wrong about that, but could we actually get relegated? Last season, we flirted with it. The promoted sides have already started much stronger than they did last season. Every promoted side already has a win in the league this season. It seems like the relegation battle is going to be more competitive. And right now, Man United are down there. Like, if Burnley beat us next week, then we've got Man City and Chelsea as the next 2 games. I wouldn't be surprised if we're sat bottom after 5 games. Like, I really would not be that surprised. I'm really, really nervous about this season now. I thought maybe the Fulham game was a blip. It doesn't seem like it. There's no attacking potential in this team whatsoever. I don't see how many goals, how are we going to score goals this season? There aren't any goals in this team. I'm terrified. Last season, we scored like 40 goals in the league, and I was like, okay, well, we've added 35 more goals with Cunha and Mbeumo. Surely we're going to score more goals. We've got a new striker. Are we going to score 40 goals this season? Genuinely, is that a crazy thing to say? Are we going to be genuinely down in the relegation zone again, struggling to get 40 goals? Eventually, if we keep doing this, that's just what we're going to become. Eventually, we are just going to become a team battling relegation that goes down. We can't remain a big club if we're playing like this. Simply, that we just can't. We are going to see ourselves drop off from this big 4 and become relegation fodder. We've seen big teams fall off and drop off like this before. This is not unheard of. And the more scary thing actually is, who do we bring in if Amorim goes? Who is there on the managerial market right now? The first name that comes to my mind, and I don't know if this is insane, if this makes any sense, and every rival fan's going to laugh at this, it's Ole. And he's currently managing Besiktas. He'd probably come back if we offered him the job. That's who I would want back. I don't see who else is out there. Like, maybe the Bournemouth manager. But would Iraola even leave Bournemouth right now? I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to come to Man United if I was the Bournemouth manager. Then we have, like, Carrick as an ex-pro who managed the club. But are we going to do an interim for an entire season? But then, I don't think Carrick did a bad job at Middlesbrough. But look how well Middlesbrough are doing since he's left. I wouldn't be confident in Carrick. He obviously did well for the 3 games he had in chance for us for, like, 5 years ago. I feel like we have to stick with Amorim because we have no choice. But oh my God, I have no confidence in this man. We've gone out to a League 2 side in the Carabao Cup. We still haven't won a league game this season. We still have not won 2 league games in a row since he's taken charge. That's just unacceptable. You know, I'm prove me wrong, Amorim, go on, but I just don't see how you can. His days seem numbered, and it seems like we're just watching the end of the Amorim era, the short-lived Amorim era, because I don't see how he can turn it around from here at this stage. And it's a really sad thought, but it seems over. Already, we've played 2 league games, and I'm already thinking the manager needs to go. Like, beating Burnley at home is going to change that. I'm done. Jesus, I don't know if this was well structured, if this works. I'm this new channel. I'm just trying out new things with it. I said, there's going to be a channel for me venting about Man United, and here you have it. I guess I thought the worst was behind us. No, it just keeps getting worse.